Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about how in depth the Chinese are in spying. A lot of talk has been coming up in the media about Chinese and their spies and whatnot. Does this occur quite as often as they're saying now? We're going to read an article from Infiltrated Group. Now, keep in mind this data leak exposes details of 2 million Chinese Communist Party members. So when people say, well, that's not a thing, according to this article, it very much is. Sensitive data of around 2 million members of the Communist Party of China have been leaked, highlighting their positions in major organizations, including government agencies throughout the world. According to reports of the Australian newspaper featured in the Economic Times, the information includes official records such as party position, birth date, national ID number, and ethnicity. It revealed that members of China's ruling party hold prominent positions in some of the world's biggest companies, including in pharmaceutical giants involved in the development of COVID-19 vaccines like Pfizer and financial institutions such as HSBC. The investigation by the Australians centered around the data leak, which was extracted from a Shanghai server in 2016 by Chinese dissidents. It noted that CPC members are employed as senior political and government affairs specialists in at least 10 consulates, including US, UK, and Australia, in the eastern Chinese metropolis Shanghai. The paper added that many members hold positions inside universities and government agencies. The report emphasized there is no evidence that spying for the Chinese government or other forms of cyber espionage have taken place. In her report, the Australian journalist and Sky News host Sherry Markson commented, quote, "What's amazing about this database is not that it exposes people who are members of the Communist Party and who are now living and working all over the world from Australia to the US and the UK, but it's amazing because it lifts the lid on how the party operates under President and Chairman Xi Jinping. Quote, it is also going to embarrass some global companies who appear to have no plan in place to protect their intellectual property from theft from economic espionage." In September, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and the U.S. Department of Justice issued a joint advisory warning U.S. government agencies and the private sector companies to be on high alert for cyber attacks by threat actors affiliated with the Chinese Ministry of State, MSS. We'd like to stop there. That was probably on the heels of the Pentagon being hacked. Again, we have the same group of people saying that the election is totally secure, but simultaneously they can't keep some of the busiest hubs in our country protected from cyber threats. So we kind of wonder if anything that's involving computers at all is not trustworthy. And so the Chinese have been very involved in infiltrating pretty much everywhere they can, and it seems like the UK and the US are some of their predominant targets. But here we have a lamestream media that just completely ignores this type of situation. Chinese spies are all up and down the Democrat plantation, and we can't do anything about it. The media themselves are bought and paid by China. It's one of the reasons why Trump had such beef with China. They control the narrative. They control all of the things that we see, hear, eat, and breathe, apparently, because now we have to wear the face girdle. We think it'd be really funny at this point that this right here is the very basic concept of the reason why, when we always ask the question, why do rhinos act like rhinos and sellouts and pushovers and they don't know how to fight? But then they always sign up with things like this stimulus package with the Democrats when it's obviously not enough. It makes you wonder if all of them as a group are in on it together, and we happen to think so at this point. This explains away that. This is part of this deep state that Trump keeps talking about. Whether it's your state or another state coming in and overseeing your state. And right now, it looks as if they have placed people in strategic areas to glean what they want, information they want, and also to push political ideologies the way they want them to go inside of a neighboring or another country. So when you have sensitive data leaked out to the general public, and you find out that 2 million members of the Communist Party of China have been running around inside your governments, inside your colleges, and doing whatever they want to, these people have not been vetted. They have not been inspected. And they come into your schools and they dictate the ideologies and the policies of these said schools. They go into government and they listen and learn and try to actually infiltrate it in a way that they have some power. Now, China and Russia can go after the United States all they want to. The fact of the matter is the media will cover for them every step of the way. We cannot trust our own media at this point, folks. It's not even a joke anymore. The media will not put out that communist spies have infiltrated our United States government, our United States system. They won't acknowledge the fact that this is happening. They want you to believe that the election is not a big F word. They want you to believe that that was fair and that was secure, but they can't do it when they're having cyber hacks on the Pentagon, on government offices, and now we're finding out that spies are everywhere. And it's not Russia. It was Russia with the Democrat Party for nonstop 4 years. Where were they at watching out for the Chinese spies that we are finding out through leaked information are out there? Where were they protecting the rest of us when they condemned Donald Trump for Russia interference? When they condemned him for being Putin's lackey? Where were they to condemn actions of the Chinese party, which has obviously infiltrated? And we wouldn't give this story so much credence, but the problem is, we've watched as many farms in belt states are being sold off to the Chinese party. They're literally being bought by people of Chinese origin that come to this country and buy up the farm, and they plant whatever they want to. The irony here is most of that money goes back to China. They're not working to make a living, to make it better in this country for themselves or keep the money inside of this country. No, they are not going to spend on you as a neighbor. They would much rather prefer to spend their money over in China to their family. And in that, we ask you, how does the American economy hum when everybody comes in, gets a job, gets some land, and then makes money and then ships the money somewhere else? Is that the economy America deserves or needs or is going to live by? Because that kind of ideology is not going to work for your local mindset. It's self-destructive behavior, and it's really not a symbiotic relationship. A symbiotic relationship would be everybody benefits, everything works for everyone. And so many illegal immigrants and so many immigrants will usurp the system, will go after the system in a way that funnels money out of it. And the rest of the world can be fools, suckers, and play by politics and political rules. If you do this or you do that, you're racist. Fact of the matter is that word was only invented to stop arguments. It's not actually a real word. But we ask the question, if the Chinese party's nothing to worry about, like Joe Biden says, that they're not competition for us, then what are 2 million Chinese Communist Party members doing inside of America, the United Kingdom, and Australia? And the large majority of them, from what we're reading, is in the United States. This type of infiltration has been going on for a long time. Whether it's good intentions or not, we don't even know. When they say they don't have any cooperation of any of this, yes, they do, but they can't legally come out and say, oh, well, we know for a fact that they're doing all of this, that they're all involved in on it. So maybe 2 million Chinese Communist Party members come over here and they try to make a good life for themselves and they try to blend in and they try to be good people, but we don't even know that. That's the scary part, folks. No one's willing to investigate it. No one's willing to find out about it. But we should do everything we can to investigate these type of things, because the Chinese party is no joke. They really believe in what they believe in, and in America, people's beliefs are so lax. Anyone will have the cojones to say all these horrible things, and then they won't be able to back them up. Or you as a patriot will come out and say, man, I stand up for my rights, and I will do all this, but if I get thrown in jail, these people at one time would die for their country. In many cases, they probably will today. So when you're saying they're safe, they're Chinese have no competition, Joe Biden is a senile old man. And I would implore everyone out there not to directly listen to the man, because he doesn't know what he's saying 5 minutes later. You can ask him. We said before, when Trump had the debate, the biggest mistake Trump had was that he should have got on the stage and he should have said 5. The first words out of his mouth, just come out and say 5. Just some weird stuff like that, and nobody knows why he did it. Nobody knows why he's talking, but Joe Biden heard him. And at the end of the debate, Trump's last question of the night should be, Joe Biden, what was the first thing I said when I came out here tonight? And if Joe Biden couldn't remember, you had him by the pinky toe. He would have been squirming, and everybody would have been thinking of him as a laughing stock. Because we know Joe Biden wouldn't have remembered 30 minutes later. But these are the people that are going to keep us secure. 5 minutes into him being president-elect, this nice conventional made-up word, obviously Joe Biden's letting them do it. And Congress is helping. Make no mistake, Congress has went around talking so much absurd crap about the United States and its citizens that at this point we have to believe they're not even playing on our own team. These are the same people that called half of America deplorable, another half of America racist, another half of America xenophobic, and another half of America some kind of other horrible thing. These people don't like anyone. These are nihilists or narcissists. Maybe a little bit of both. I'm not even sure that's how that works, but these people, honestly, they don't like anyone. Listen to them talk. The Russians are bad. The Chinese are bad. The Iranians are bad. And these people are supposed to lead our government? The Koreans are bad. At what point do you say, this is not a party of tolerance? Black people have voted for them for years and got the same damn results. Illegal immigrants are supposed to be able to vote for them, but, simultaneously people from the UK or Russia or in Australia, they can't vote for American presidential elections. But some illegal from Mexico or the Philippines or Guatemala, they can come and vote in your elections no problem. But the overall synopsis of all of this is that the data leak obtained by the Australian newspaper has revealed how the alleged CPC members are employed with some of the world's biggest corporations in the area of actual defense, banking, and pharmaceutical giants. And they're part of the manufacturing process of the coronavirus vaccines. If none of you see anything wrong with this, then please just go ahead and stop me. But it seems as if we're buying masks from China. We're buying all these products from China. The vaccine is coming from China, and the disease itself was supposedly came from China. It seems as almost if the Chinese were the luckiest people alive to come up with a disease in the middle of their country. Because not only did they control the narrative, they actually controlled the spread of the thing. So you spread it all over the world, and you make everybody come to you for your masks, for your Lysol, for your disinfectants, for your medical supplies, for your respirators. It's amazing that they get you coming and going like this. This is actual P.T. Barnum type stuff. There really are suckers born every minute. Some of the companies are actually amazing. Among the companies identified are Boeing, Volkswagen, Pfizer, and AstraZeneca, and financial institutions including ANZ and HSBC, according to the reports. It's crazy how much these people are involved in influencing our country at this point. You're talking about defense, you're talking about on the road, you're talking about in the air, you're talking about our medical. That's insane, the amount of control you're going to allow the Communist Party to come into your country and do. Now, they found the leak after the Shanghai server had some whistleblowers come in and they extracted the information. But you're talking about 2 million CPC members. It's kind of a scary proposition when at least 10 consulates in the eastern Chinese metropolis, Shanghai, have CPC members employed as senior political and government affairs specialists, clerks, economic advisors, and executive assistants. If you go a little bit further, there's actually 79,000 branches, many of them inside companies, universities, and government agencies. It's kind of messed up that they're trying this hard. But this is what you get with open borders. And the Democrats, they just want to do more of that. Come one, come all, come into our country. It doesn't matter what your allegiance is or not. We should accept you. Through our love, you will come to understand and respect us, and you won't do the horrible thing that you intended to do. The Democrats are, for every intents and purposes, clown shoes. And how many of these global companies actually got their intellectual property from stealing, from economic espionage? It didn't even matter that they were involved in it directly, that they knew these people were Chinese spies. It only benefits them to have a Chinese spy in their pocket. So you wonder if these companies openly open the door as well. Not only that, but the government agencies themselves. Again, we had many Democrats running around talking about how they hated pretty much everything and everyone in America. You had Ilhan Omar that went around saying that 9/11 was just a thing that happened. No biggie. Talking about everyone that happens to be white needs to pay reparations. Never mind that the largest population in America, it happens to be white. And never mind the fact that only 1% of any whites participated in actually owning any slaves. You're punishing 99% of all people for what 1% of those people did. These people don't operate in reality. They don't want to acknowledge that they're wrong, that they're infiltrating our system and trying to corrupt it from within. We had that threatened on us many, many years ago, and now we're finding out that it is indeed true. Rot of the government will start from the inside. Australia already had rough ties with basically its top trade partner, China, in 2018, and they were the first country to publicly ban China's Huawei from its 5G network. They just banished it, and it was more than likely all because of the spying. And it worsened after an inquiry into the origins of the coronavirus, which was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan. Anyway, folks, what do you think? Do you think that the Chinese spies have indeed infiltrated many governments all across the globe? Because we know how the Democrats will sway it. Of course, the Chinese spies didn't spy. Spying isn't spying, according to the FBI either. You come in, you don't tell anyone, you take pictures, you look around, you get information from people, and then you leave. You go back to your masters. And when the Democrats say this is secure, we wonder what their definition of secure is. Oh, that's right. Cardboard boxes, opened up, hauled by Tom and Dick, whoever. Anyway, you folks have a wonderful afternoon, a good night, a good morning, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that around here. Also, drop a comment down below. We like to talk with you. We like to pick your brain. And if you have any ideas for new videos, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. If you don't hit the notification bell, we might have problems getting our video to you. God bless each and every one of you. See ya.